How many times can one player cast a Cyclonic Rift? How many turns can a Rhystic Study stay on the field without being sent to the graveyard? Are these two questions triggering your Magic the Gathering PTSD? Whose crusades will end in success, and whose will lead to nothing but ruin? All of these questions and more will be answered, and in the end, only one Crusader will stand victorious. This is Commander Crusaders. Hello and welcome to the very first Commander Crusaders EDH gameplay video. I'm your host Marcel, and have we got an epic matchup for you today. All of us picked our meanest decks, and let me tell you, this is one of the most annoying games we've ever played. There is a lot of passive damage that happens in this game, and I won't be mentioning it every time it happens, so keep an eye out as things change. Without further ado, let us begin. I'm playing Roon, and my starting hand is 2 snow-covered forests, 2 snow-covered plains, a Frostwalk Bastion, Rhystic Study, and a Burgeoning. Tyler is playing his Zozu deck, and he starts with 3 mountains, a Palladium Mirror, Treasure Nabber, Goblin Bombardment, and Repeated Reverberation. Mike brought out Golos for this game, and he keeps Windswept Heath, Watery Grave, Oath of Teferi, Mirage Mirror, Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, Arena Rector, and Rise of the Dark Realms. Wow, Mike, overcompensating a little bit. Finally, Rob came packing the heat with Thrasios and Vial Smasher, keeping Bojuka Bog, Rootbound Crag, Mountain, Swamp, Training Grounds, Diabolic Tutor, and Aether Snatch. After a low roll, I start us off. I play a forest and cast Burgeoning, while everyone at the table sighs. Tyler plays a mountain, while I drop a plains. Mike plays Watery Grave, and I play a Frostwalk Bastion. Mike casts Training Grounds and passes to Rob. Rob drops a tapped Bojuka Bog, and I drop another snow-covered plains. I draw my card for turn, and lacking any blue mana, pass my turn. Tyler drops a Goblin Bombardment on his turn, and I drop another forest. Mike plays a Windswept Heath on his turn, cracking it, and going to find a Savannah. He passes to Rob. Rob drops a tapped Overgrown Tomb and passes. I draw an island and cast a Rhystic Study. I make Frostwalk Bastion into a creature and smack Rob for 2 to send a message. Tyler draws and plays his Palladium Mirror, not paying the 1, passing. Mike taps out on his turn to play a Mirage Mirror, not paying the 1, and passing. Rob plays a Spinerock Knoll as land for turn and hides away a card, passing to me. I drop a Phyrexian Metamorph, one of my favorite cards in all of Magic, on my turn, making my own Mirage Mirror. I pass to Tyler, who happily plays his Treasure Nabber and Zozu without paying the 1 for either of them. When Mike plays his Maze of Ith for turn, I drop a forest. We each take 2. He passes to Rob. Rob drops his Rootbound Crag, and I drop another plains. We each take 2. Rob plays a Simic Signet, paying the 1. Rob then drops a Training Ground, paying the 1, and gives his Signet over to Tyler because of Treasure Nabber. On my turn, I play Deep Forest Hermit, who comes in with 3 Vanishing Counters and 4 Squirrels. Tyler drops a land for turn, taking 2, and then casts Molten Psyche, paying the 1. We all shuffle our hands into our libraries and draw that many. Afterwards, he casts Burning Earth and Sulfuric Vortex, not paying the 1 for either, and passing. At Mike's upkeep, he takes 2 from the Sulfuric Vortex, and then casts Collective Voyage for 2, not paying for Rhystic Study. Nobody else pays into the spell, and we all go find 2 basics from our deck tapped, taking 4 as they come in from Zozu. At the end of Mike's turn, I ephemerate my Deep Forest Hermit, making 4 more squirrels. Rob takes 2 at his upkeep from Sulfuric Vortex. He then casts Rhystic Study, not paying the 1 for mine. The whole table lets out a sigh so loud that it peaked my microphone levels. He gives his Signet over to Tyler because of the Nabber. At my upkeep, Ephemerate rebounds and I flicker my Hermit again, making 4 more squirrels. I also take 2 because of Sulfuric Vortex. I then tap a bunch of mana for Woodfall Primus, popping the Sulfuric Vortex. I take 1 damage for Burning Earth, and I don't pay for Rob's Rhystic Study. Finally, I cast Soul Herder, and moving to my end step, flicker Woodfall to kill Rob's Rhystic Study. Nobody gets to miss triggers but me, Rob. Remember that. On Tyler's turn, he casts Primal Amulet, paying the 1. He passes to Mike. Mike casts Golos and goes to find the plains playing around that burning earth. Rob untaps and passes. On my turn, I cast my commander, Roon of the Hidden Realm, during my main phase. Moving to combat, I hit Tyler for 6 with my Primus. Tyler plays a mountain on his turn and takes 2. He plays a Worn Power Stone, paying the 1. He casts War's Toll, also paying 1. On Mike's turn, he taps out to cast Merciless Eviction, naming creatures. Rob responds by playing Supplant Form on my Woodfall Primus, bouncing it to my hand and making a token copy. The copy destroys Burning Earth as it enters the battlefield. I respond by turning my Mirage Mirror Metamorph into a Goblin Bombardment, and I shoot Mike with my 12 squirrels. That's a great sentence. And then I shoot 1 damage at Tyler and 1 damage at Rob. After that, all creatures are exiled. Finally, Mike drops a tapped Overgrown Tomb and passes. On Rob's turn, we see Thrasios come down, and with the floating mana he has to use because of War's Toll, Rob activates him 3 times. He reveals a Felwar Stone and puts 2 non-basic lands into play that I can't tell what they are. He passes. On my turn, I play Eternal Witness, grabbing my Soul Herder from my grave. I cast Soul Herder. Then I cast Roon for the 2nd time. At my end step, Soul Herder flickers Eternal Witness to grab back my Ephemerate. Tyler plays a land on his turn, and taps 6 mana for Caged Sun, naming red. He then casts Mana Barbs and Zozu, and he even paid 1 for all the spells he cast this turn. Mike casts Nugan on his turn, and downticks him to destroy Mana Barbs. He takes 6 from his lands. The hero we needed, but not the one we deserved. Rob untaps on his turn and passes. On my turn, I cast a Talisman, a Myth Unbound, and my Woodfall Primus, destroying the War's Toll. With the 1 white mana I had left, I cast Ephemerate on Woodfall Primus, destroying Rob's Training Grounds. He responds by activating Thrasios a bunch of times, revealing Blue Sun Zenith, Cyclonic Rift, putting 2 lands into play, revealing Time Stop, and finally revealing Diabolic Revelations. Geez, Rob. On Tyler's turn, we see a Harsh Mentor hit the field. And as we all feel the pain, he passes. Mike casts Cryptghast on his turn, and then a Vidalcan Orrery. Finally, he manifests a card by upticking Nugan and passes. Rob taps 7 mana during his main phase to overload a Cyclonic Rift. We all pick up our non-land permanents, and Rob smugly plays his Felwar Stone, passing. On my turn, I recast my Talisman, my Eternal Witness, who gets me back Ephemerate from my grave, Burgeoning, Vivian's Arcbow, Soul Herder, and Rhystic Study, taking 1 from my Talisman. At the end of turn, I discard after flickering Eternal Witness with Soul Herder. Tyler casts Caged Sun again, not paying the 1. He then goes for a double cast and a Pyretic Ritual, not paying 1 for either. We see the Harsh Mentor again, paying the 1. In response, Rob activates Thrasios before he takes damage from the Mentor, revealing Reigns of Power. Finally, Tyler recasts Zozu, paying the 1 and passing. On Mike's turn, we see the return of Training Grounds, and Vidalcan Orrery, and I forget to ask about paying 1. He passes. Rob plays a Signet on his turn, and I forget again. He passes. On my turn, I bring out that Phyrexian Metamorph from earlier, and it becomes a Vidalcan Orrery. I pass. Tyler asks Rob if he's going to counter this next spell, and Rob says probably not if it doesn't bug him too much, as he's saving that Time Stop for me. Tyler says okay, and then casts From the Ashes, attempting to destroy all non-basic lands on the field. Rob responds accordingly.
Destroy all non-basic lands. For each land destroyed this way, its controller searches for a library for a basic land and puts
I've got a time stop here, so.
Responding to his own Time Stop, Rob also attempts to Beast Within the Harsh Mentor. Tyler has a Bolt Bend in hand and redirects the Beast Within to target my Metamorph Orrery. I respond by flashing in Merit Lodge's Slumber and my Woodfall Primus before I lose Flash. I target Mike's Vidalcan Orrery with the Primus Destroy effect. Responding to that, Mike flashes in his Time Stream Navigator. Let's just stop and take a look at the stack for a second. The way that the effects will resolve will have the Time Stream Navigator coming in first. Then my Primus destroys Mike's Orrery. Then my Merit Lodge's Slumber resolves. That's when Rob, like a jerk, decides to add more to the stack. So he waited for all those things to resolve. Then about halfway through the stack, he decides to reverberate the Bolt Bend that was about to destroy my Metamorph, and instead forces the redirected Beast Within to redirect again onto the newly entered Time Stream Navigator. What this means, simply put, is that Mike gets screwed. Tyler's turn finally ends, and we move to Mike's. He's not happy, and as a last-ditch effort, casts a Mana Vault and an Exsanguinate for 7. We all take 7, and Mike gains 21. He passes the turn. At his end step, I flicker my Primus, destroying Rob's Felwar Stone. Take that. Rob casts Mystic Retrieval during his main phase, grabbing Cyclonic Rift out of his graveyard. At my upkeep, I flicker the Primus again, destroying Rob's Rootbound Crag, and my Merit Lage's Slumber sacrifices itself to create that 2020 Merit Lage token. I cast Acidic Slime, destroying the Cage Sun. I move to combat and hit Tyler for 6. I pass. On Tyler's turn, we see the Worn Power Stone again, and the Primal Amulet. He also plays a Mountain, and takes 2. He passes to Mike. Mike casts Golos in his main phase and tutors up an Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Meanwhile, Rob overloads another Cyclonic Rift at Mike's end step. I tap all 10 of my mana to discard a card to Vivian's Arcbow, searching my top 10 cards for a Mystic Snake or a Frilled Mystic. I whiff on those, but I find a Blizzard Strix, and as it comes in I flicker Tyler's Harsh Mentor until end of turn, hoping that it'll slow Rob down when he untaps. Everything else gets bounced except for the Harsh Mentor. Rob untaps and casts Diabolic Revelations for 2, and passing to me. I cast Woodfall Primus on my turn for what seems like the 100th time, and Rob decides to Aether Snatch it. Choosing his own target, he destroys my Frostwalk Bastion. I then cast Phyrexian Metamorph, having it come in as a Woodfall Primus. I destroy Rob's Alchemist Refuge. The tension in the room is palpable. I pass to Tyler. Tyler casts Impact Tremors on his turn, and recasts Zozu. We all take 1 as the commander enters, and he passes to Mike. Mike casts his Mana Vault again, followed by a Crypt Cast. He recasts Nugan, down-ticking him to destroy the Harsh Mentor. Finally, he recasts Golos, tutoring for his Cabal Coffers, and passing to Rob. Rob casts Exsanguinate for 11, and we all cry as Tyler dies a horrible, horrible, horrible death. Rob passes to me. I go for Eternal Witness in my main phase, grabbing Blizzard Strix from my grave. I cast it, and flicker the Woodfall Primus that Rob stole until end of turn. I then cast Renegade Rallier and Soul Herder. At my end step, the Woodfall Primus enters under my control, and I destroy the Cabal Coffers. Soul Herder triggers, and I flicker the Primus again, destroying the Urborg. I pass to Mike. Mike draws the top deck that ends the game, but not in the way he wanted, as he casts Rise of the Dark Realms. He gets all of our creatures from our graveyards, which ends up letting him Surveil 4, bounce Thrasios, gain 5 life, and destroy land. That's about it. He passes the turn right into Rob's smiling face. Rob taps 5 mana to cast Mana Geyser. He adds 20 red mana to his pool, and uses 8 of it to cast Insurrection. With control of every creature on the board, he swings out for the game. Well, that sure was a game of Magic the Gathering now, wasn't it? Although the ending was a bit anticlimactic, I think the game as a whole had a lot of great interaction. My deck started off explosively, but I didn't really hit any big enter-the-battlefield creatures from my deck or any of my big bombs except Woodfall Primus. I didn't activate Roon a single time this game, and that was sad, but I got to show off my Metamorph and my Primus. So I'm happy. Tyler's Zozu deck brought the pain, and we all felt it. It was great to see Mike and Rob desperate to deal with each new threat he dropped. Mike didn't really get to do much this game because he was kind of land-starved, then life-starved, but in the end, he had a couple of strong turns with Exsanguinate and Rise of the Dark Realms. Rob's deck did what Rob's decks do. He played a bunch of big bombs and waited for everyone's shields to be down to take the game. He couldn't have timed the win more perfectly, and he wouldn't have been able to do it without that Rise of the Dark Realms. Either way, it was a grueling game, but Sir Rob stood victorious in the end. As this was my first attempt at one of these videos, I appreciate any and all constructive criticism. I'll be making more of these as time provides, but I have no set schedule on when they'll be released, so I hope you'll be coming back and stopping by every so often to check up on them. And hey, if you'd like to keep up with the channel, be sure to subscribe and click on the alert bell to be notified when our next upload drops. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.